We really should be praying for the folks there in California because it's a hellhole situation. You've got the super high taxes, the regulations, the TB outbreaks, homeless people. It seems like defecating all over the place. It looks like scenes out of hell from satellites, and there's footage of people driving around. Most of you have seen it. And you just see huge fires spanning, in some cases, all around them. People wake up in the morning, and the fires were 5 miles away, and now the fires are just in their backyard, and the police and the firefighters are getting totally exhausted. They don't know what to do, and it just really seems biblical. I mean, I'm not saying God's judging California. I'm just saying it looks like something out of Armageddon.
Me because I'm white.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't like white males.
And the Democratic Party saying we need race war. We need culture war. That's evil. We're back live, folks. I'm Alex Jones, your host, and we've got to move quick now because there is so much incredible news to get to. Again, I have Senator Grassley, who is bipartisanly respected as being really fair and even-handed, destroying the partisanship of the FBI and the two-sidedness and the two different standards and the emptiness of the Russiagate witch hunt. And that's because Hillary was going for broke. She'd committed all these crimes. She had to get into the White House. And when she didn't, they had to turn it around and blame Trump for what they'd done. And by the mainstream media and by the other Democrats signing on to this and some Republicans, they have all irrevocably tied themselves to a big old box of rocks and chained their legs to it and thrown themselves into the abyss. That's what they've done here. And it just shows how they believe because they're in charge of this big, powerful country that they are invincible, and they're not. So that's coming up. We have several guests joining us. I'll also open the phones up today. But before I go any further here, I'm going to go ahead and get into these reports out of California. We really should be praying for the folks there in California because it's a hellhole situation. You've got the super high taxes, the regulations, the TB outbreaks, homeless people. It seems like defecating all over the place. It looks like scenes out of hell from satellites, and there's footage of people driving around. Most of you have seen it. And you just see huge fires spanning, in some cases, all around them. People wake up in the morning, and the fires were 5 miles away, and now the fires are just in their backyard, and the police and the firefighters are getting totally exhausted. They don't know what to do, and it just really seems biblical. I mean, I'm not saying God's judging California. I'm just saying it looks like something out of Armageddon. But, oh, there's a bunch of Democrats and Hollywood people blaming Trump. They say this is an omen that, you know, it's because of Trump this is happening. So Ventura fires rage, threatens communities, both coastal and inland. LA Times, huge flames ripping down the mountain. The Thomas fire roars back to life. Homes threatened in Santa Paula. And that's all because of those winds coming from the east, coming out over the west and then out to the sea. One of the images you really ought to see is the satellite images of the fires in California from NASA. It's incredible. Southern Cal fires scorch an area the size of Atlanta, and they're only getting tired, more and more exhausted. LAFD, fire department chief, our people are getting tired. I bet they are. This is just, it's ongoing. Hurricane-force gusts could cripple battle versus Southern California and the wildfires. You really got a feel for those folks. Rich residents flee burning Bel Air mansions in 5th Cali wildfire. And it just shows how the rich are not exempt from any of this. But historically, people think as long as something is just down the street, it's not really going to affect them. Well, as we can see now, ladies and gentlemen, just because the fire is over your hill doesn't mean tomorrow it won't be burning down your house. And that's an effective metaphor for just life in general. And the fires of communism, the fires of authoritarianism, the fires of the globalists imploding third world countries. They are being directed by the globalists in their own admissions They use these crises to try to gain even more power. And in many cases, let the crises get completely out of control. Even if we have good management and are moral and upright and try to not destroy ourselves and the planet, even if we do our best job, it's going to take praying and seeking God's discernment for humanity to make it to a type 1 civilization. That's a civilization that can live outside of its home planet. That's a civilization that makes it out of the nursery. That's a civilization that makes it from being a tadpole into a frog, or from being a caterpillar into a butterfly. And I can tell you right now, the globalists have decided to just mismanage stuff because it's too hard. Just use crises to get more control because they think humanity's already over. They're going to merge the machines. They're going to supposedly, just become these AI gods. And so the earth, they just think that they're going to transcend it by destroying it. That's the evil cosmology, the evil worldview, the evil ethos of what are the transhumanists who come out of the whole eugenics movement. Now, I'm not saying your average garden variety, outer court, porch transhumanist is a bad person. They just want to live longer and be cyborgs or whatever. And, of course, there's a lot of innovations there, and a lot of people may choose to do that. The point is the globalists in the inner sanctum of transhumanism are worshiping an AI god that demands all of us first die before the select enlightened are given immortality. Now, I've been telling you that for 20 years since I learned about it, made a film 10 years ago about it. Elon Musk started warning you about a year ago. He said, I go to these meetings and they say humanity's over, we're getting rid of them, we're going to merge with AI gods, we're building God. Elon Musk goes, listen, I go to these private, off-the-record meetings, and the majority of the billionaires plan to kill everybody. He goes, watch out, people that talk about AI gods, they're anti-human exterminists. And now it's all over the news. Everything I told you. What do you think? I just made this stuff up and then somebody else picked it up? That's why all the mainstream media edits what I say, takes it out of context to try to psychologically inoculate people so that when they first run into me live or what I'm actually writing or saying, they just tune out and ignore it thinking, oh, this guy, this guy made this stuff up. This guy's full of baloney. This guy can't be trusted. Just, again, hoping you don't pay attention. Because, folks, it was in government documents 20 years ago that cable boxes had hidden cameras and microphones in them, and I broke one open on television. And they literally sent private paramilitary after me to attack me physically in a parking lot and tell me to shut up. I mean, that's the type of stuff that's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Because back then, if people would have found out then, there'd have been a big scare, a big freak out, but instead they roll it out slow, they water it down, they slowly introduce it until, okay, yeah, Samsung watches me, Sony watches me, okay, my cable box watches me, okay, my smartphone watches me, okay, Airbnb watches me, okay, there are animal-human chimeras. Remember, I'd be talking about that 20 years ago? Oh, you're crazy. Now it's on the news. Oh, mice with human brains. Oh, humanoids grown in cows for their organs to be harvested. And they sign waiver forms and stuff. It's been approved, and people are already getting these livers. They're already getting these kidneys. They're just keeping it all DL, down low. But now, you see, they're going to come out with it all. National Geographic and everywhere else. They're going, oh, we just now started doing it. No. It was in industry and DARPA literature that was public 22 years ago is the first time I saw it. And they were reporting on 10 and 15-year-old projects in 1995. They were reporting on 10 and 15-year-old projects that were probably going on before that. So I'm done talking about that for now. When we come back, it's incredible. I've got the graphics from CNN themselves. But from their perspective, they think they're attacking the president. From our perspective, it's incredible. Where they show graphs of how he's horrible because he's delivering on his promises and fighting to deliver on the other promises, and how it's the work, and how he's naive, and how he's bad, and how he's stupid. Wait till that comes up. And then Senator Grassley I mean, it's a 35-minute speech, so we should play all of it, but we've got it boiled down to like 15 minutes. I'm going to air that in the first part of the hour. Then Matt Bracken, former Navy SEAL, counterterrorism expert, joins us about the whole Israel situation, what he thinks Trump's really up to, what he thinks the responses are going to be. And then we have the Breitbart Israel editor joining us to get into that perspective on the whole situation and so much more. And then meanwhile, Obama blocked deportation of 550,000 illegals, more than Atlanta's entire population. That's being reported. Infowars.com, newswars.com. Spread those links. Thank you.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
He's not a tough guy. He's a bully and he's a bitch.
He's a punk. He's a dog. He's a pig.
And he can suck my
He's a con, a bullshit artist, a mutt.
I'll meet him in a hotel room any day of the week and give him a Louisville Slugger.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
Kiss my mother ass, you bitch punk sucker.
Pointing what appears to be a water gun at the image of President Donald Trump projected on a whiteboard, art teacher Pale Modi has now been seen by countless viewers across the internet.
Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
It's an actor dressed to look just like President Donald Trump as he's assassinated on stage.
Pictures and video depicting comedian Kathy Griffin holding the bloody, decapitated head of President Trump are no joking matter for the Secret Service.
The rhetoric that has inspired the violence has come from the mainstream of the Democratic Party.
They're involved in the coup, an active attempt to start a bloody civil war.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
A lot of different specials on water filtration. We're extending the specials on the Alexa Pure Breeze air filtration system. Amazing. At $149, you can't beat it. Comparable units, $400 to $600. 888-253-3139.